When different cultures collide in the business world, this does not just have an effect on the workforce itself, it affects the community surrounding the workforce. When a company brings in workers from different ethnic backgrounds, these people bring along their cultural ideals, food, rituals, religions, everything about them. Oftentimes, when these cultural items start to become detached from their homeland and start to trend in the new culture they live in, de-ethnification comes into play. These culturally foreign workers will often start to acculturate or adopt the culture from their new home. Oftentimes, there are barriers set up by the people surrounded by these culturally different communities, like language barriers. Sometimes, this barrier leads to segregation in communities. For instance, Chinatown is full of people of Chinese descent. This makes it more comfortable for Chinese people to live in the community and also for their transition into the United States to be less stressful. With the cultural transitions, regional differences, acculturation, and de-ethnification, the workforce is more culturally diverse, which is a direct effect of globalization.
Since jobs are being relocated to other countries with lower labor costs and cheaper rates of production, consumers in the U.S. pay lower prices for products. Globalization benefits consumers when it comes to lower prices, but is a disadvantage when it comes to local economy. Globalization in the workforce has caused bigger companies to profit while smaller companies suffer. Since employees are moving to larger companies and away from smaller companies, so are consumers. Local businesses are failing to the rise of big industrial companies. Most consumers get their products from large companies that have lower prices.
How aware are you of how many of your items that you purchase are made in the U.S.?
I'm not aware at all, but I would assume that a lot are made outside the U.S.
Do you think that globalization is positive or negative?
I think globalization is positive.
Do you think America's workforce would survive without globalization?
I don't think it would survive because I think that we thrive on getting imports from outside of the U.S. and that's how our economy works.
Globalization of the workforce affects us on a local, national, and global level. The local level is best described as the government at a small level, such as in villages, towns, and cities. On the local level, there are many small businesses that are shut down because they cannot compete with the low prices of the bigger companies that use outsourcing of labor. These bigger companies can offer lower prices because outsourcing of labor is extremely cheap. They can legally pay their workers overseas less money. Therefore, they do not need expensive products to make a profit. Globalization also affects the workforce nationally, best described as the government on a country or national level, for example, the United States. Jobs are now harder to find in America because big American companies are using cheaper labor overseas. They choose to use foreign labor over the expensive American workforce. On a positive note, the outsourcing of labor has increased trade flow and relationships between our country and other countries. On a global level, which is worldwide, there are also benefits and disadvantages from the effect of globalization. Globalization of the workforce helps foreign countries lower their unemployment rate and gives hope to families struggling to bring in money. Most of the outsourcing happens in third world countries where the standard of living is extremely low. Some are thankful for the opportunities big companies in America have given them. However, many jobs overseas are in the form of sweatshops that often have unethical working conditions. They are often unsafe and many accidents occur that cause injuries and death. The big American companies do little to make amends to help improve their sweatshops.